Well, we're working on the baler today. Chain shouldn't do that. I don't know if you can see how sloppy that is. That's wore out. So doing the chains on the pickup header. I think we got around 4,000 or 5,000 bales on here. So we're doing this chain and this chain on both sides. Kubota or Kverlin. It's a Kverlin baler. Kubota bought out Kverlin. But they did a good job because a 10-foot box of chain does the inside chain here and does the outside chain and gives you 5 extra links. So that's perfect. So next year we'll do the rest of the chains, which is not going to be cheap. These big chains here, a couple $100 for just a roll. And I might have to order this big one. I think this will be 300 or 400, but it's gonna go one more year. It's, if you can see, it's starting to get sloppy, but we'll go one more year. It's big. It's well over 10 feet. It goes down and up and around and then back up, and then there's a 60 heavy duty down there, and then there's, I think this is 80. I think this big chain is 100, or what is it? Can't see. Yeah, it's 100, 180. It's a big chain. Talked to the Kubota baler guy about the belts, just see if I got to do anything with that, and he says nope. He says they're good. Got to tension the springs again. I could imagine they're still in spec, but we'll check. We'll get a tape measure out and check it. Put the update kit on for the bump stops. The other bump stops tended to crack the inside of the plastic, so we put the patch covers in that they gave us. They're glued, and then I screwed one screw in and a couple screws in there just to hold it. New side latches because the old ones wouldn't work right, which also contributed to the sides cracking because the old latches wouldn't latch, and the side would sit there and bounce. This baler like literally was a new design when we bought it. It hadn't been out very long, so we like it. I have no complaints. Yeah, everything needs update kits. Everything needs maintenance. Other than that, yeah, it's been a great baler. Love the big tires onto it. It carries across the field excellent, especially when you get the big heavy silage bales in. Yeah, it works good. We're going to be running it with the T7 we bought this year, so a little more horsepower onto it. The horsepower we had onto it was enough, but just enough. So, but other than that, I got to go over the bearings yet. This thing has central greasing on it, so everything, and then it has an oiler system, so it gets well maintained, right? Yeah. We look after keeping the oiler filled. Yeah, it's not the cleanest right now. Like I said, we don't wash our equipment off in the fall. Tractors get washed off, but the combine doesn't get washed off. The forage harvester will get washed off, usually because corn silage is pretty acidic. This year it didn't because it was coming in here, and we did peas and oats right after corn silage, so but it'll usually get washed off and then greased, and then I let it run for an hour on the tractor. But the baler and the combine, they don't get washed off. They get washed off in the spring when it's nice and warm, so that no water sits in the bearings. I don't like having to replace bearings just because I washed it off. I like clean equipment, but you got to be smart about it. So yeah, I'm waiting for one part of the update kit to come in yet. It'll come in today sometime. There's another nylon block like this that goes up there. It didn't come. This is an update to keep it from slapping these steel hydraulic pipes. So we had to replace this top pipe already, and I drilled out the original bracket to move this one over further that way. It kept the chain from slapping, and I learned right away that this chain, you check the tension onto it. It gives you a measurement right here in millimeters, so you make sure that that is what the measurement is here. And if you do that, it won't slap those pipes. But considering they shipped us out the update kit, we'll put it on, and that I'll still check that tension likely every 1,000 bales is what I've been doing. But yeah, like I said, been an awesome baler. I like this baler design. Every other baler that is like this, you have to have 4 remotes on the tractor to run the baler, no matter what. Or you're unplugging one set of hoses and plugging in another when you get to the field, which drives me insane. This baler has just 2 remotes, and then it has electric over hydraulic block up here. And that tells the one remote which function to do. So when I get out to the field, I tell it to lower the header. Well, I don't, Rob does. I don't run this actually. I did a couple times, but it's mostly Rob. But it tells it to lower the header, and then you can switch it on the monitor to tell it to raise the knives on the inside up against the rotor so that it's cutting, and it will also tell it to put the drop floor up and down. The drop floor is for if you get a plug, it'll trip the clutch, and then you drop the drop floor, you retract the knives, you fire it back up, it sucks the wad through, then you put the drop floor back up, you put the knives back in, and you keep baling. Yeah, it beats the old balers where you had a big pipe and you had to turn them backwards to get the wad out, and that was horrendous. Helped one of my friends do that once. It's a job. That one, it's 90 degrees outside. Sucks. Yeah, it's no fun. So, but no, I think we're gonna update the lights. I don't really care for the lights that are in it. They're not LEDs. They're not very bright at all. And they sit on an awkward angle, so when you're driving up behind it, you actually don't see the flash very well. So we're gonna update that, put LED bulbs in it. I like to be well seen on the roads. Takes argument sakes out of it if something happens. But no, we'll get this done today, and then get this out of here. Likely, well, maybe not today if it's cold like this. I'd like to hook it on the new tractor and just make sure everything's working right with the new tractor. But we're gonna go do herd health here with their vet and do pregnancy checks, so I'm gonna let you go. But anywho, that's where we're at. Have a good day.